Good morning, traders. Today is Wednesday, December 29th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Okay, well, last night the overnight just traded inside of yesterday's range, which pretty much just traded inside the range of the previous overnight session. It explored a little bit higher and lower, but pretty much just traded in the previous overnight's range. So that is a sign of balance, right? And we know that excess in the market leads to balance. So we had all this excess in this giant push higher. That is all excess. So now excess leads to balance. At some point, the market has to balance off this big move to the upside. Is that going to happen today? Well, let's wait and see. Yesterday, at the end of the day, value was still overlapping to higher. So that is a sign that the momentum is still in the market, that they can keep it going, keep the excess to the upside going. So it's not impossible to imagine if the market could trade up to the all-time high, get up there, come back down, find some support, it could get continuation higher. But in my mind, what seems like a higher probability is that we're either going to go sideways today or we're going to have a larger pullback, probably to try to backfill this gap we left behind at 89. So let's wait and see once the market opens how it reacts. We'll use yesterday's high and low as main levels to watch. So for the low, that is 47.70. If the market trades down to that level, gets below it, comes back up and finds resistance, we'll be looking for further pullback to the downside. And same thing with the high. If we trade up above the high, come back down, find support, we'll look for continuation higher there. Either scenario where we get a look below and fail back into the range, or a look above and fail back into the range, targets the overnight POC area right in here. And we're just basically waiting for it to successfully break out above yesterday's high or below yesterday's low. Otherwise, it's likely to just go sideways. So that's super exciting this morning, but certainly should be some opportunities. Opportunities to make them monies. Jay Trader, good morning to you. Welcome. David Glass, good to see you. Welcome. Nor Auto Trading, good morning to you. Chris Yee, daily one-time framing up. Yep, it is one-time framing higher on the daily. That's why I say the fact that the value area is still overlapping to higher means that the trend could still be intact. We could have another push higher today, and we'll see that if the market gets above yesterday's high, comes back down and finds support there. We'll see that opportunity. But that is a lot of excess. That is a lot of days of one-time framing higher. So a need to balance that off either by going sideways at higher prices or by pulling back down with price does seem like a higher probability. Scooball, NQ look above and failed yesterday from this large area. Let's go over and look at the NQ. No, I wouldn't call it like a look above and fail. It was just rotational yesterday. It rotated a little bit lower than the ES. It got into the previous day's range, much more than the ES did, but it was still just rotational at higher prices. We do have value inside the previous day's value area. So that increases the odds slightly of either sideways or pullback today, as opposed to a continuation of the uptrend. On the Q. Diego, good morning to you. Welcome. 41 people here, 11 likes. If those of you that are here wouldn't mind smashing that thumbs up button, it would be a big help. Let that algorithm know I'm back. The SS Cryptocurrent. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. Good morning, Arthur. Market opens in 2 minutes. So again, I'm going to go with whichever direction the market breaks yesterday's high or low if it pulls back down and finds support. So I wouldn't buy the breakout above or below. I would buy the pullback that finds resistance or support. That would be the buy for continuation. Good morning, Stephen, Albert, and Cy Worker. Welcome. Laser Eye, welcome to you. Okay, so we're opening literally right at yesterday's point of control. And yesterday's closing price. So the overnight literally went nowhere. Went one tick higher. That is a sign of balance. Jonathan, market only go up? I don't know. Like I said, the fact that it's been going up every day for the last week means at some point it has to either go sideways or pull back down to balance off all this excess. So I could easily see a world where we spend a couple of days bouncing around in here. Or maybe we need to pull all the way back down to here with price. Would not be unreasonable. Danielle, good morning to you. Welcome. Jonathan, seems like it sometimes. Seems like the market can only go up. Oh, yeah. YouTube buffering like a mother today. It's showing excellent stream health from my end. Can you guys just check and see if you're able to go higher than 720 today? Man, still 720? That's strange. I tried looking into that. I can't figure out what it is. All right, thank you guys for the heads up. I will look into that some more tomorrow. Thank you, Scooball, but it's enough. Cotton Dog, what's the resolution on the PC? It's 4K, the screen that I'm looking at. Futures. Yeah, I use Streamlabs. That's what I use. So for those of you that are just tuning in at the moment and you're wondering what I'm looking at here in the market, I'll just repeat what I mentioned first thing this morning. We've had a ton of excess that got us up here to these new all-time highs. We've had just day after day after day of continuously having value completely higher than the previous day. And that's a sign of a trend, a very good, strong trend. But all trends must come to an end eventually. So the fact that yesterday we had this tight range, overnight we had two very tight overnights in a row, and the fact that the value area was only overlapping to higher yesterday, not completely higher as it has been, is a sign to me that this trend is aging. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be over today. We could get above yesterday's high and then just continue higher. It's not impossible that the trend could keep going. But my feeling is that it is coming to an end. And so the market will be looking to either go sideways for a few days or have a larger pullback to try to fill a gap below. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on this morning. And the way I'm kind of judging it is I'm just using yesterday's high and low. If we can get above yesterday's high, come back down and find support, I'll look for continuation of the trend. If we get below yesterday's low, come back up and find resistance, I'll look for that larger pullback in price. Probably trying to backfill this gap to 87.50. And if we stay inside of yesterday's range, I will look for a day that looks very similar to the overnight there, where the market just grinds up and down and goes nowhere. Look at that, all night long. Up and down, going nowhere. Cotton Dog. Sounds like your love life just balancing at the moment, no excess. I hear you. Big Ray in the house. Good morning to you, Big Ray from Philadelphia. Happy to have you. Please smash that like button. Give me that thumbs up to let me know you care and to let the algorithm know you're here. Also, hit the thumbs up if you like beer. Rocket, thank you, brother. Happy to have you back. And yep, I go live for the first hour every day. S&P Attic, welcome to you. Thank you for that like. It is worth mentioning that when the market does this, where it gets stuck in a very tight range and it gets very boring, when it does finally break out of that range, it'll tend to move. So you don't want to lose interest in the market, even if it's being boring. You want to stay focused because opportunities will present themselves. Insane creations. Yeah, 4 minutes is too big of a gap. Try refreshing. We got very low volume here. Not a lot of participants. S&P Attic, is this what you meant yesterday by tapering at the edges? I don't remember talking about that yesterday, but yeah, on rotation, what will happen is the volume will get thinner and thinner as you get to either end of the range. And that just shows you that there's a lack of desire to do business at either end of the range. Nobody wanted to sell down here at the G period lows. Nobody wanted to buy up here at the A period high. They only wanted to do business in the middle. Cotton Dog, 45-degree angle in the overnight? Yeah, you could say that's a 45-degree angle. Good catch. So that's a strong potential support. But you almost have it on the way up here as well. Same exact thing as yesterday. Just further sign of rotation. Further sign the market needs balance. So this A period high is now considered a poor high because it came to a tick exactly to that weak E period high from yesterday. So we would assume this is just the push away from the poor high, and that at some point today the market will have to head back up there and repair it. S&P Addict Classic TA would say buy the breakout of the triangle. Seems you say the opposite. I say buy the retest, not the breakout. Right? So let's say the market's working its way up and it's getting ready to break out to the upside. I don't go long here. Right? I wait until it breaks out. And then when it comes back down and it retests that high, somewhere in this area, that's what I buy. I don't buy the breakout. I buy the retest that finds support. Same thing with the low. Push below the low of yesterday, come back up and find resistance. I'm not going to short it right here. I'm going to wait and short it right here in that resistance. S&P Addict, where's the course? Well, hopefully, my computer's at Apple right now getting fixed. If the hard drive is okay, they'll just leave it in there. And then when I get it back, I'll still have all my data. If that's the case, then the e-course should be ready soon. If not, it's going to be delayed a few more months because I got to build it again from scratch. Actually, that's not true. I uploaded the first couple of lessons online, but other than that, the rest I would have to redo. Bow, the retest gives you a better stop loss, 100%. I mean, it's pretty much the same stop, but yeah. If you wait for the market to push up there, come back down, and then you buy the support, you can have a nice tight stop. Assuming that you're going to find support in here, you can have your stop just below. Chris P., great question here. On the retest, are you looking for a strong relative absorption or just want to see it hold for a second and then enter? It depends, obviously, case-by-case basis. But on today's, I would only need to see it support there for a minute real quick, particularly to the downside. If it pushes down below yesterday's low, it may only come back and test it real quick before it gets continuation. So I would jump into that one really fast. To the upside, I'd want to kind of make sure. I'd want to feel really confident or even scale in, like kind of do like one contract when it first retests and then kind of scale in if it seems like it's holding. Cotton Dog, what is my plan moving forward? That is a great question. Yeah, I need to just buy an external hard drive and let it automatically update every day. The worst part is I knew it. I knew I should have, because the same thing happened to me years ago with a laptop. Got wet, lost everything. But how quickly we forget. Well, super exciting morning here so far. 20 minutes into the day. Mark, I like boring and consistent. Well, there you go. If you like a slow rotational market, you got one, my friend. Enjoy. Laser Eye. No, today's not the last day. I think it's open totally normal this week, right? We have a full day on Friday too. Correct me if I'm wrong, because the New Year's happens to be on the weekend. I think everything stays open normal. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, chat, on that. S&P Addict, guess you lost spreadsheets and any of that too? Yep, lost everything. It was all on one computer. David, good morning to you. All right, so we got some confirmations. Yeah, Friday's normal. Okay, so it does look like the market wants to get up there and repair that poor high we just created at 47.92. But I don't feel a breakout here. The market still just feels very rotational. So if we do get above that poor high, I imagine we're pulling right back down towards halfback. But let's wait and see. Rocket, crazy thin volume. Very true. It's very thin volume today. Across the boards. Ronald would prefer a higher resolution than 720. I hear you, bro. I'm going to work on that. Cotton Dog trying to slip below the VWAP. Rocket VWAP holding up ES. Feels heavy. Camel's nose in the tent? No, I don't get that one. No idea what that means. Alan, good to have you back. Welcome. Futures. Do I also live stream on my website? Yeah, I live stream. It's on YouTube as well, but I do a private stream after the first hour of the day. And you sign up for that on the website. There's a link in the description to join the Brigade. But it's exactly the same as this live stream, just for the rest of the day. And I'll sing. Alan, any chance we can see 4750 before the new year? Yes, sir. 4750 is well in play. So as I discussed earlier, there's two general ways to balance off excess. All of this move up from the low, this is all excess. There's two ways to do it. You push higher and then you just rotate at higher prices until you're ready to break out to the upside from there. Or you push higher and then you have to pull back down with price and repair it that way. To me, the second scenario, a scenario where we have to pull back with price, would at the very least get us down to this 87 level to fill that first gap. I don't think the other gaps, I'm not as worried about them because they're pretty far from price now. We do still have a bunch of gaps below, but with this many base of single prints between the gap at 87 and the gap at 62, I don't think the market will need to get all the way down to there. I think it'll find support somewhere in here. So yeah, I think a pullback down to 46.87 would be completely reasonable. Will we need to go that far? Maybe not. Maybe we just rotate at higher prices. But I do think some kind of pullback is in play. And if it's going to happen, it'll probably happen today. All right, finally getting some movement here. In a little liquidation break here. So once again, my guess is that if it gets below yesterday's low, it'll just turn around and head right back up to the POC. But if it does get below yesterday's low and it comes back up and it finds resistance, I'll be looking to short it for continuation lower. Let's take a look at the NQ. Okay, yeah, the NQ is trading lower here. So we've now got value overlapping to lower from yesterday. So I think it might need a larger pullback. Maybe down here to the 16,334-ish area, where the volume starts down here. So that would imply that the market needs to use price to repair the excess instead of time. It needs to pull back with price. So that is a little bearish. Okay, so the buyer stepped in just one tick below yesterday's low. Okay, so that makes the low here a poor low as well. So now we got a poor high and a poor low, which makes it a very tricky day to read, but increases the odds the market will need to trade back down to this low once again and repair it. So internals look rotational. Price rotated, but we've got a poor high and a poor low. So this is just that spring getting wound up even tighter and tighter for the eventual breakout of balance. Screwball weak hands, correct. Yeah. So the buyers that would have bought the low because they were trying to buy exactly at the low of yesterday, that's short-term traders. So odds are they're taking profits right now. You know, the market, they buy, the market tries to push higher. Once it can't get any higher, they all start to take profits because they have weak hands. They're very short-term traders. So then the market pulls back down to where they entered. Shit's weak. It's bad taper on the low too. Alan, would volume return by next week? I should assume so. That next week the volume will be back. All right, well, we're about to hit that 10:30 window when we call it quits here on the public stream for the day. I do still believe that the market wants to pull back a little bit here. Certainly at the very least to repair the poor low we left behind at 47.70. And if not, to head a little bit lower, backfilling the single prints from yesterday or from 2 days ago in the B period. But we might just go sideways here. It's not impossible to imagine that we wouldn't just rotate in a tight range like we did yesterday. But I think the market needs a bit of a pullback. So that is the guess that I will leave you with as we close out the stream here today. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the stream. And have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.